why not reach for more freedom in how we show up? The freedom to be authentically yourself and to accept others who are showing up authentically as their selves. There's so much goodness to be found there. Hello, and welcome to the Connect podcast. This show is all about helping you connect to your soul's calling so you can take action on it. Because the sweetest success is a blend of discovering your purpose with the inner drive to bring it to life. I'm Sheila, health coach, lifestyle entrepreneur, and mom of two, best known for my online wellness programs, mentoring, and self-love passion. Listen in for inspiring interviews, solo chats, and Q&A sessions that will move you past overwhelm towards what lights you up. Stop accepting good enough and go for your version of great in your health, business, and relationships. Let's get started. Hi, welcome to this Monday minisode where I share an insight to help you live into what lights you up this week. I am feeling so different as I approach 50. I'll be turning 50 in the summer, and I've been having this conversation with friends of mine who are also approaching this milestone or who have surpassed that about what it's like to gain so much more confidence in who you are as you approach or as you've surpassed midlife. It's like there's this freedom that didn't feel accessible to us previously that is kind of unfurling in our lives. And it depends on all of us and where we come from, what our experiences are. Some people have felt super free to be completely who they are their whole life. But more often than not, what I've seen is so many of us come to a place where we emerge and grow and shift into a more free and open version of ourselves. And this often happens, I think, as we are on the road of growth and as we're journeying forward amongst other people who also want to grow in how they perceive the world, in how they communicate with those around them. They want to improve their relationships. They want to improve their health. They want to be living a life and growing a career or a business that is really fulfilling to them. This has not been more evident ever before than over the past 2 years, as we've seen so many people shifting careers and realizing what's working, what's not working in their life. Everything seems to have been put on the table as we've been in what was considered an uncertain time. And really, as I mentioned in last Monday's podcast, really our life is always uncertain. We don't have 100% certainty about exactly how our life is going to unfold. We can have intentions and goals, and certainly those things help move us towards the direction of attaining those things in our life. And what I've found is so often life does not unfold exactly how we plan it. Sometimes it's way better. Sometimes the challenges are far greater than we ever could have imagined. This conversation, though, is something that I love to have with my friends who are on that growth journey, who feel like as they approach midlife or as they have surpassed it, they have more of a sense of freedom in who they are, in how they're living. There's more of a curiosity about how they're approaching their life, and they're more open to the nuance that exists and that has always existed around us. When we think about the people in our lives, I don't know any one person who thinks exactly the same way I think on absolutely every single topic. Do you? I mean, that would be kind of boring, wouldn't it? Right? Like, we need the diversity of culture and of ideas, because the moment we feel like we have all the answers and we are always right, well, first of all, that could be a very lonely existence, because that's not fun to be around someone who thinks they're right about everything all the time, right? That's the moment when we stop growing, when we feel like we have all the answers. I feel like life is a time where we're meant to keep growing so we can keep discovering. And that's an exciting space to find ourselves in. And so as we open ourselves to that nuance, while yes, holding some firm convictions about important principles in our life, I definitely believe that's important. We need to have these principles, and there are timeless principles that exist in our life. Especially when you're, raising a family or starting a business or growing a business, you need to be on the same page about fundamentals. Absolutely. And then there's going to be the nuance in between, and it can all flow. And I find with these people who I've been connecting with, in that flow, there's so much freedom to allow people to show up as they want to show up and as they are feeling led to show up in their life and in their work and in their relationships. I find that freedom exhilarating because there's an acceptance that goes along with it and a respect that can cross borders and it can cross idea lines. And so this idea about midlife confidence giving you freedom is something that can recharge and re-energize your life as you go about it each day. We can look at the years to come with more hope and curiosity and creativity instead of looking at ourselves just slowly marching towards the end. Another conversation I hope to have on this podcast as well with a palliative care worker potentially, or a therapist that deals with people who are going through grief and loss. I really look forward to having those kinds of conversations as well, because we need to be talking about the fact that we all have an ending. Nobody's life is going to last forever. So why not reach for more freedom in how we show up? The freedom to be authentically yourself and to accept others who are showing up authentically as themselves. That grace that can exist to uplift relationships, there's so much goodness to be found there. So as you're going about your week, think about how you feel. Do you have a freedom in how you're showing up? Or do you feel like you're still checking all the boxes? I mean, certainly there's boxes we need to check in our life. There's stuff we got to get done. But as you're showing up and living, do you feel like you can't fully be yourself? Or do you feel as you're aging, there is a subtle confidence that's starting to shift and rise within you? I just want to encourage you to tune into that and open up to that. And know that I am on that journey with you as well. And I celebrate that. I think aging is something we should be celebrating because there's wisdom that comes with it. There's experience. And there's the idea that as we move through our life and our experiences, we can reach our hand back to those coming behind us, to give them the encouragement, to share the stories, to share the stumbles, to share the wins and the joys that we've experienced in our life, to give encouragement to those coming up along behind us, and to be able to celebrate each other as we are going through this miraculous thing called life. I'm so grateful to be doing this with you, and I would love to hear what you think about this idea. I wish you a wonderful rest of your week. Big blessings. Thank you so much for being here with me on the Connect podcast. If you like this episode, please share it with someone you think would enjoy it. Also, if you head over to iTunes to leave a review, I'd be so grateful. Let us know what your favorite parts were and what you'd like to hear more of. It will help us have a greater impact, elevating many more people to grow and succeed together. See you next time.